A warm welcome to you wherever it is you are reaching us from around the world. This is Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry EQVK. We'll be starting today, this weekend, of course, with all that we have from our newspaper headlines. And right after that is our main conversation also for today. But please, you can always visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. We're very honored to have joining us virtually from Lagos State, Nigeria, Emeka Madunagu. He is a journalist, public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, Emeka.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. Hello.
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Thank you so very much for your time. We truly do appreciate that. Now let's start off this morning, with the Guardian newspaper, and we have a laundry list of stories, interesting ones actually. And we, the first here, of course, which made the big headlines, chasing suspects, how enforcement agencies can avoid rights violation. And we have personalities, Kayode Egbetokun, the IGP, and also the EFCC chair, and a couple of others. But under that particular story, our talking point today, Sharia in Briglio. Munich alleges plot to unleash violence on Southwest Muslims. And I can speak to us on this particular matter. It's been ongoing for a very long time now. Some pockets of activists have said that it is not Sharia law, it's rather Sharia arbitration. And they've come out to explain that it is just meant for Muslims in the southwest of Nigeria that desire, issues to be resolved in a Muslim way, and it does not affect every other person. But other Muslims also have said no, that the southwest of Nigeria is one region that allows for Christians, for Muslims, for traditionalists to do their thing. Nobody should come force anything down our throats. Speak to us on this particular matter.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's just people trying to impose their own ideas on other people. I mean, it's all about politics. If you go back to 2000, when some states, Zamfara started this, by cutting the hand of was it Usman Jangedi for allegedly stealing, and then arbitration is one of the avenues, out of court, for out of court settlement, provided in the law. So when you now reduce arbitration to religious grounds, there are certain things that religion cannot cover. Even within the Sharia, there are areas that are still being looked into because of modern developments in the modern world. So. You cannot limit the views, of the society, pluralistic society like Nigeria, a multi-religious society like Nigeria, a secular state. According to the constitution, we're a secular state. We're multi, but in form and content, we're a multi-religious state. So you cannot say it's for arbitration between Muslims. The question arises, how many of such cases have you arbitrated in the north where it's been practiced? How many bandits have you actually put on trial? How many Lakurawa terrorists have you put on trial? How many Boko Haram, Iswa terrorists have you put on trial? And so you just see that it all boils down to, politics. People wanting dominance, people wanting influence, and all of that. Because if you, how come the very people you say will benefit from this thing are the ones kicking against it? How come? How come they are the ones saying they don't want this arbitration, that they are okay with the existing channels of arbitration? What are we talking about? Is it business? In business, in the markets, they have executives in the market. Lagos is a cosmopolitan society, is a cosmopolitan place, and Lagos is also a lot of markets. So there's a lot of trading and all of that manufacturing going on in Lagos. import and export. When there are disputes, there are ways of resolving these disputes. That don't sometimes when those disputes get violent or lead to breakdown of law and order, there's a way that these things are quickly brought under control. But Murik, we should also take note. We should take note that Murik, as on a regular basis, raised the alarm where cried wolf where there is none. That's a one-man organization. It's just one man. Professor Isha Kakitola always, saying wolf, always crying wolf, always alleging, making allegations, absurd allegations, and well, the freedom of speech in the constitution. So, well, he just authority just conveniently choose to ignore him. Well, when they feel like they respond to him.
But
other than that,
Muslims have come up to say,
people should just ignore.
Yes.
Ignore.
Yes. Emeka, people have come up to say, those who practice the faith have come up to say that no one will be forced into desiring to be part of the arbitration. It's something that you want to do if you desire to do it. So it's not, even the Muslims will not be forced to do it. Talk more of other people who practice any religion of their choice. So don't you think that having a blanket, a closure to this particular matter is a step in or a step on their freedom of expression and religious practice?
The question you have to ask yourself is this. Those who are Muslims, what are they actually saying about these things? When the debate like this came up in the House of Representatives, it was Muslims who oppose it. It was Muslims who oppose it. So, if the people are saying that they are not really inclined to be put under that kind of arbitration, then why are you trying to push them into it? Having people come out to say that the existing channels, traditional channels, existing judicial channels are inadequate for them. Having people come out to say so, the answer is no, they've not come out to say so. So I just think, let's just live and let live.
All right.
Practice your religion and practice my religion. There's no need for all of these, extraneous moves to, try to show, we have to adjust this, we have to adjust that. I think there is no need. We have very serious pressing issues in this country. Things that, people can barely feed. People can barely survive, and then you are pushing this kind of thing. We've seen what the Hizbah has been doing in Kano, breaking drinks and all of that, breaking bottles of drinks. And yet, people are saying, they should, that VAT, you look at the argument about VAT, that it should be based on attribution. But when you talk about attribution, you forget the fact that this is a secular society. And not impose your wishes on all about politics. Those people pushing it are just, looking for how to push their own agenda ahead. I mean, look at it. Okay, fine. 2023, we had the same faith ticket. What has it really brought for the people? Look at the appointments.
Yes,
how has it favored even those of the faith? Look at the economy. Look at the economy. How has it favored the people? Look at generally. Look at insecurity. Infrastructure is broken down. I've been doing a lot of traveling, of recent. Bad roads everywhere. The roads are terrible. Do you know people sleep on the highways? People spend nights on the highways because maybe one truck fell on the road. Does the truck know whether somebody is of this faith or of this faith? The petrol tankers have been exploding. The other day, petrol tanker, was leaking somewhere. And the police and, security agents blocked people from going there. Do you know what? They started firing stones at the police. Now, why would the police not allow them to go and scoop fuel? So when you look at all these things, we have socio-economic issues that we need to deal with. We have the issue of, the things that U.S. President Donald Trump is doing. Cutting aid in vital areas, and these things will affect Nigeria. We're still trying to, we managed to put polio under control.
Right.
But now, by cutting aid to Nigeria, cutting off funding for the World Health Organization, what it means is that, you know, I mean, we're still going to, you know, we might go back to square one in battling polio,
very true.
in battling rubella, in battling malaria, in battling HIV/AIDS.
Very true. But if you may, let's take a look at another important headline here. It's coming from the Saturday Punch newspaper. Police Service Commission retires police officers as SANS debate IG's tenure extension. And the question is, why would they have a separate law for the rest? But Kayode Egbetoku, who celebrated his 60 years last year, is still the acting IGP. Is that an abnormality of some sort?
It is not in the public interest for tenure extension to benefit sitting officials. You are setting a bad precedent. You are setting a bad precedent with such an action. You know, you are setting a bad precedent with such an action. You are not actually inspiring confidence in the service. You know, and the fact that the National Assembly did not give adequate thought to this issue, to the amendment of the Police Act. They just passed it hurriedly, under pressure from President Bola Tinubu. So what they just did was just a copy and paste from his executive order, which is anomalous, because in the Constitution you don't have executive orders. You don't have any provision for executive orders in the Constitution. So it's anomalous, you know, and people have been calling for an end to all these executive orders. Whatever you want to push through, take it to the legislature, take it to the parliament for debate, you know, and let there be a public hearing. The National Assembly, I urge them to, you know, go back to the drawing board, you know, invite the public for a hearing, public hearing on the issue of tenure. They said they were modeling it after the current practice in other services. But you know, we want to say that that doesn't hold water, because when Buhari was president, he made Amid Ali, who was a retired colonel, you know, the Comptroller General of Customs. Then Buhari also brought Bichi, who had retired and gone back to his village. They brought him back and made him the DG of the DSS. All these things are not acceptable. You saw in the case of the EFCC, it was a serving officer, you know, somebody rose from the ranks, you know, somebody who rose through the ranks was made the chairman of the EFCC. That's what is encouraged. Even in the civil service, I stand for things like that, so that you can encourage those within the service who are putting so much effort, so much sacrifice, you know, who have proved themselves, you know, who have really proved themselves to be worthy of you know, promotion, done promotion exams. They have, you know, carried out different assignments. You know, you should reward them.
Yes.
Not
with the public outcry.
Somebody who should have
with the current public outcry, do you think there is a possibility of taking back the goalpost that has been shifted? Because this is a very big disgrace to not just the Nigerian police force, but to our constitution and the perception others would have of our country. Do you think it's possible to ever have everyone go back to the status quo?
No, you see, I hope that as time goes on, you know, because all of these things are the things that, you know, democracy. These are the things that, you know, will help us to know whether we want to move forward with democracy or not, you know. And so the issue of tenure is one major problem. When Buhari was president, he brought back somebody who had retired as a permanent secretary. He just extended the person's tenure even after the person's time had elapsed, which is very wrong, you know. So these are things we need to look into, you know, and then we need to now take a decision. If the Inspector General of Police is going to enjoy the same kind of a service period as the service chiefs, then fine, but you should not make it to benefit a sitting Inspector General of Police who has got to retirement. maybe somebody else is successor. You can now put a successor and say, okay, fine, from this time, you will go ahead, so that there will be time for him, to lay out his programs and all that. But I don't think that President Bola Tinubu will want to budge, because this man, Egbetogun, was his ADC, and so they must have built a close relationship. And so, but, how does this serve democracy? When somebody else is in power now as president, how will APC take it? They will be the ones writing press releases and all that, criticizing, going on radio and TV, saying that the rule of law is being abused and all of that. But now that they're in power, they are the ones abusing the rule of law. They are the ones disregarding the rule of law. They are the ones abusing the constitution, and it's not proper. It is unacceptable.
Very, very true.
So it should be brought to a public hearing.
Very, very true. Because Nigerians have said that if really he does love Egbetogun that much, that he should allow him to retire and maybe give him a political position where he can do anything that he desires. But of course, let's take a look at this growing issue in the southeast of Nigeria, because it made headline on the Punch newspaper. Dark side of Okide rituals, where youths get buried alive to acquire wealth. And to buttress that further, Professor Chukwuma Soludo in Anambra State have started going for traditional practices that go against the ethics of modernity. So what do you think about this particular issue? Is it a wake-up call for people in the southeast to maybe disregard this? But how can we draw the balance between this and people who practice traditional religion?
You see, the truth must be told. I've been in the East, for some weeks. The truth has to be told that the issue about the law signed by Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo, has been blown out of proportion by politicians. Usually, it has been blown out of proportion. He is not targeting the traditional institution. He is targeting people who are using the traditional institution to encourage criminality. Making charms for criminals, making charms for kidnappers, making charms for outlaws. That is what he's talking about. Telling people that you will do charms for them to become rich, you will do rituals for them, that you will bury them alive, you will fortify them so that bullets cannot enter their bodies, and then they can go out, all out, engage in criminality, kidnap people, kill people. One of my sisters in my kindred was killed. For what? I know people, families, that have been thrown into serious emotional distress because their relatives were kidnapped. Some were killed, their organs were harvested. Why? Why? And that is what is after. So, if you know of any church or any other faith that practices Okite, the governor said, come and let me know. He has set out an anonymous line. Let me know. Because we have identified a problem. We did not see the problem in churches. We did not see the problem in mosques. We did not see the problem in all these temples. Where we saw the problem was with this particular African traditional religion. And not with religion per se, but people. So what I'm saying is, Governor Soludo has really, yes, he misunderstood the extent of the problem. He underestimated the extent of this problem. And you saw some people going on Facebook, going on social media, telling youths that they could make charms for them, that they could make them rich. Negating the ethos of hard work, of diligence, of honesty. Telling youths you can do this, you can do that. And then now encouraging them to embark on organ harvesting, embark on rituals. Killing people up and down, harvesting their organs. Such is unacceptable. It should not be accepted in a society. Now that he has gone all out and is, taking on these people, people suspected to be involved in all these things. People that are coming out now, you shouldn't do like that. You should. When these people were using these hotels, as hideouts, you people kept quiet. some of them knew about the activities of these people. Now, some prominent people in the society are being, accused of having links with some of these criminals. Now, people are coming out to talk about human rights and all that. Yes, human rights is important. But the point is this: people must realize that we need to live, and thrive in a decent society. A society of decent human beings. Not a society where people can just engage in brigandage. If you look at a magnificent mansion built by traditional law of Lilu in Anambra State, these boys went there with sledgehammers and scattered the whole house. Can they build it? Can they build such a house? Look at people, look at vehicles. They snatched and sold. This is just plain criminality. If the Okite was, encouraging hard work, then you wouldn't need to use it to fortify criminals. You don't need to use it to fortify kidnappers. You wouldn't need to use it, to encourage youth to shun hard work and honesty, and then tell them that no problem, money can come. Look, money does not grow on trees. Money does not fall from the sky. You must work hard to make money. You must work hard. You must engage in honest labor, and that is what Igbos are known for. We are known for honest hard work. But when people now begin to bring in strange practices, we must say no. This is honest.
So very unacceptable. Thank you so very much, Emeka Magnago, for having the time to talk about this particular matter. Emeka will be right here to take us on our main conversation, but that is when we return. Atiku accuses Tinubu of targeting opposition, not corruption. That's in a bit. Please don't go anywhere.